Happy Saturday, dividend growth stock investors. It is Colby, the DGI Crab, coming to you with good news on a Saturday. On Saturdays, I like to update you all in case you missed it. Any of the 60 stocks that this channel focuses on, if they increase their dividend over the previous week, I like to bring that news to you on Saturday, and we've got some double good news here today. 2 of the Tier 3 stocks on the channel have announced dividend increases. If you're new here, I've taken those 60 stocks, I've split them into 4 categories or tiers based on the age of the investor. Tier 3 is for the 42 to 53-year-old investor. And this weekend, I am turning 41 years old, so I've got another full year before I graduate, so to speak, into that Tier 3 category. But news like this just makes me very excited. I'm hoping a year from now, when I turn 42, Abbvie and ExxonMobil will announce another round of dividend increases to welcome me into the tier with open arms and increased passive income. Now, what I'm going to tell you here today is not financial advice. I will preface it all by saying I'm not a licensed professional. You should do your own due diligence before you decide to invest in anything. But with Abbvie and Exxon, these 2 stocks have looked pretty overpriced to me for a little while now, so the dividend increases are certainly noteworthy. So let's jump in and take a look and see what these 2 companies have done. We'll start here with Exxon. So Exxon reported a nice Q3 of earnings. They beat expectations, not drastically, but they did beat them. And they announced a little bit better than 4% dividend increase. They're going to go up to 99 cents per quarter per share, up from 95 cents previously. So not too bad, not too bad. Little bit on the low side. I would have liked to have seen them get that up to maybe an even dollar. But, hey, they're going to do what they're going to do. I'm not going to complain about an increase of 4% with an excellent company like ExxonMobil, which also just happens to be one of my top 10 favorite stocks in the market. If I knock my portfolio all the way down to just 10 individual stocks, Exxon would be one of them. And this is one that I'll actually buy a little bit earlier than I do other single stocks. Now, the other one with Abbvie declares a 5.8% dividend increase, right where we want it in that Tier 3 category. I'd like to see dividend increases between 5 and 8% among that group. Exxon almost made it there. That's why I wanted that extra penny to bring them up to $1 a quarter. But Abbvie did cross that 5% threshold. They're going to jump up from a $1.55 per quarter dividend to $1.64. So not too shabby at all there for Abbvie. And I thought we would see how does that affect things within the Tier 3 tier. So we look down here amongst the stocks in the Tier 3 category. Abbvie and Exxon were the 2 most overvalued stocks by my metrics, where I'm looking at the 4-year average yield compared to the current day yield. And now that I have factored in both of the announced dividend increases, they are still the most overvalued stocks in this category. So it certainly helps their case. And I'm glad that we're getting more dividend income out of both of these stocks, but they're still both just a little bit high for me to want to buy them. Exxon's going to have to drop down below $100 before that starts to get into the buy zone for me. Abbvie certainly needs to get down into like the 170s for my liking. But these 2 have been trading so far below their 4-year average yield that they do both consistently bring their 4-year average yield number down every single week. So if they continue to yield the way that they've been yielding, the lower and lower this 4-year average yield number is going to get. And if these figures start to look more like the norm as opposed to an aberration of overpriced value, then they might end up might end up becoming more attractive, these current day prices. But on both of these, I'm still just going to be waiting and being patient. I'm not actively adding to either of them if I were in this tier right now. Certainly better values to be had for any new money going into your portfolio, if you ask this crab. All right, everybody, I love bringing you this good news on a Saturday. A lot of the times it's just an announcement of one stock that's done a dividend increase, but this week we get two. How sweet is that? Happy birthday to me. So I hope everyone is having a great weekend. Congratulations if you are an Abbvie and or ExxonMobil shareholder. You just got a raise for doing absolutely nothing but owning shares of an incredibly quality company. That's a great deal if you ask me. You can email me any questions that you might have at dgicrab@yahoo.com. I am always happy to answer questions and possibly even do a video response to anything that you might be curious about. And as always, I have a link to videos on each of the 4 tiers in the description below, so you can check that out and get a brief rundown on each of the stocks and in each of the tiers, why they made the final cut for me in my narrowing down to all the stocks in the stock market to just 60. Thanks so much for tuning in, and again, have a great weekend. Catch you on the next one.